الفراق ما غير علي الفراق، اشتاق 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 واسأل عنكم الاشواق. الفراق 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 ما غير علي الفراق، عساكم ما نسيتوني عساكم.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. We are live. We are live. Hello, everyone. Hello. Please do share this live video if in on your timeline or in any of the groups you are actually an admin of or you manage. This is going to be a very important discussion with such a wonderful, very well sought teacher, dancer from the United States. We're going to be talking a lot to a wonderful dance artist and learning a lot from her experience. So please, we're trying to generate so many, viewers. So do share. It's going to be an exciting discussion. So hello, everyone. Hello. I'm going to wait until we generate more viewers. I can see the numbers creeping up slightly, so I'm going to give it another 50 seconds before we hit the start button. The start button, basically. So just 50 seconds and we're going to make start. Please do share. I can see people start coming. That's wonderful. Please do share. Wonderful. Hello, everyone. Hello. The numbers are creeping up, which is absolutely fantastic. Well, shall I say good evening or good morning, wherever you are? There's been a lot of requests, lots of questions coming through, and lots of interest about today's Raqs Chitty chat. I have got a wonderful dance artist. I'm not going to be talking too much because I'm going to let her introduce herself. But before that, I'd like to share my personal feeling. I'm super excited, delighted, over this moon for this wonderful lady to accept my invitation and be on this platform here. The main idea of this platform is to connect us dancers from all over the world and basically get to learn from each other, get to know a bit about each other. And I am absolutely over the moon to see another Arab Khaliji dancer on the dance market. This is an absolute amazing. So it's a pride to introduce our guest dancer today, not only because she is an Arab, but for me as a Moroccan, she's a Khaliji Arab woman who challenged all the tradition and made a strong presence in Middle Eastern dance in Europe and has become most sought after dancer, performer and choreographer. Her upbringing within the artistic family helped her to pursue studies on Middle Eastern music and movement in Arabic dance style. I'm super delighted to introduce the wonderful Khadijah Smith. هلا خديجة، شو اخبارك؟ لبس عليك.
الحمد لله وانت حبيبتي، شكرا.
Alhamdulillah, marhaba. I'm very delighted to have you on this platform. Honestly, seriously, wallah, thank you. And my goodness me, what are you doing? Everybody's asking, yeah, Khadija, we want to know a lot more. So this is fantastic. Marhaba. Okay, Khadija, my first question, and this is a very silly question, don't laugh. I just want to know, because obviously you've had a very hard time, obviously, with Trump being in power for 4 years, and obviously we've seen a lot of dramas, we've seen a lot of problems, we've seen a lot of things going not right. So I just want to ask you, how's the state with Biden? How are you guys? How are you feeling now?
Wow. First foremost, I just want to say Alif Shukr so much for having me. Thank you. I'm very nervous, so I am sorry if I stumble any words. I am very thankful to be here. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you. Um, but as far as here in United States, wow, it's very hard. Trump made the 4 years. I mean, it's like we live back in slavery time. He take us back instead of progression. It was a very dangerous time for black and brown people to, let alone Muslims, Arabic people to exist. It was very, the past 4 years where I'm still, because, people back home, they think here is land of the gold and free and everything is just wonderful, but life is tough here also in America. But those 4 years were very tough, and we still have more work to do.
I can imagine that absolutely, and lots of broken hearts, lots of division as well.
Yes,
And that is, you know, that is one of the things is the people have been divided within one community. They've been divided, so which
so
is sad in a way. But yeah, let's hope for the best, and we can only see,
inshallah khair.
inshallah,
Yes,
a brighter future and a better future, and
yes,
at
really
least
hope so.
to everybody, peace to everyone. Right, Khadijah. Okay, I didn't want to introduce you and your upbringing or anything, even though I've done lots of research about yourself. But I want you to come and tell us about yourself. Who is Khadijah? What do you do? And how long have you been dancing? What got you into the dance?
Okay. I'm really bad about talking about myself, but I'm gonna try to be thorough as possible. So I was born in Jeddah and El Shati district specifically. Saudi people, please do not judge me. But this is where I was born. And I came to United States first. We moved to Florida, and I lived in Florida for a very long time and finished my last years of high school in Florida. But growing up, I would say my community, wow, Jeddah is a very amazing city because you have old city, you have new city, and it's for me it was really no different between the old and the new. It's just very family oriented, very warm, very people think Saudi Arabia is very police everywhere and women covered all the time. Of course, when we go outside, yes, but the kingdom is more peaceful than what people thinking. TV put many things in people's minds and create stereotypes about us.
Yeah,
But living there and then moving to United States, it was definitely a big change because there's no more all girls school, all boys school separation. Everything was very mixed, very integrated, and I knew that coming here.
yeah.
I knew that, and that's okay. But what what can I say? So when I moved to Florida, do you hear any feedback? Can you hear me well?
Yes. No, no, I can hear you perfect. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Sorry from that. So moving to Florida, I got to meet various people, lots of different people that never, and ethnicities I never thought that I would get to meet. And before the kingdom became very strict,
Yeah.
I would say the kingdom have already been very strict. But we used to watch old black and white movies and see like Samia Gamal, Tahia Carioca. We used to see, the belly dancers on TV and watch the old black and white Egyptian movies and Lebanese
Well,
movies and from the Levantine. And, we're like, wow. I'm like, I want to dance like this. And, we would hear about, local artists in the Gulf, of course, and many Egyptian artists. And I was just blown away. I was, and my sister, she used to make fun of me all the time. She used to
Yeah.
say, Khadija, what? You're not gonna dance like them. Like, what are you? I used to prance around and dance, of course, and not letting my, family see because, they're gonna laugh or make fun. But my father, he was very strict and,
Yeah.
making so making fun of me, and I was serious. I was dead serious. I would try to mimic the movement and I always told myself, I
Yeah.
said, when I become an adult and I can make my own decision, I'm going to maybe find some teacher, or maybe find somebody to teach me to dance. Every girl, want to dance like this way, and
Stars.
and I would say what that is what really drew me into the dancing, is just seeing the
Yeah.
cinematography and seeing these dancers just wow, and
Yeah.
that really inspired me to learn dance more at that time. So for me, what do I do? I came to Colorado for veterinary school.
Yeah.
I have a career in veterinary medicine, specifically emergency.
Wow.
Um,
Mashallah.
شكرا جزيلا. My initial background was in equine with horses.
Yeah.
So I work a lot from horses and large animal like cattle. And so I just always love animals growing up. So I study more to be able to take care of them. And so,
Yeah.
and here I am. So
Fantastic, fantastic. Can I just take you back a little bit? You mentioned when you moved to the States, it was the cultural shock. Obviously, there's no boys' school or girls' school. How did your family react to that? For them to have Khadija, were you allowed to go to that school, or were your parents looking for the girls' school to going into, or how was that at the time?
I have to admit, my father was not impressed. But my father, he still lives in, oh, you're going to
Yeah,
learn about
I can
so
imagine.
yeah, so
Any Arab?
yes, he lives in Riyadh actually because he working for Saudi Aramco.
Oh yeah,
Aramco. Yes.
oh yeah,
So he still lived there. Um,
yeah.
but my mother was like, okay, well, you have to get education in Florida. I don't know if there was maybe like some all girl program or something. I'm too young to maybe even recognize this, but
Yeah.
I don't remember it really being a big problem from my mother and my siblings when we moved. But I do remember, high school. And I knew this coming in because I knew everything is so mixed. Like
Yeah,
everything, that's what everybody was talking about. Like, oh, you're moving. Wow, it's very mix men, women together, many
of course,
cultures
yeah,
together.
yeah. Because that's how it is in Europe, in everyone, that's how we're.
Yes,
Oh no,
yes,
that
yes.
is
See,
awesome.
yeah, but for me, it really, being young, it was just kind of like wow at first, and it took me a little time to adjust, and then it was
Yeah,
like, okay, I found my girlfriends, my niche of girlfriends, and I met Muslim friends, and I had Muslim friends and American friends and
yeah.
Spanish friends from all over, so it was a nice experience.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So, when did you actually start dancing? When did Khadija says, right, I'm the dancer here. I'm going to be doing this. So, when did you start actually that initial start dancing?
Absolutely. This is going to be a long answer, so I apologize for
It's
the
a,
length.
it's a, listen. We've got the whole well, for me the whole evening, darling. So go take your time. Tell us. We
Okay.
want to know.
Okay, thank you. For me, when I start dancing, so for me, it was like growing up, my father was very athletic. He was a professional boxer.
Oh,
And growing up, my father, he would be swimming and doing boxing, and
yeah,
he taught us, boxing and wrestling and jujitsu and things like that. And he always take care from his health, and he
yeah,
always say, whatever you do, keep moving, stay healthy. Make
yeah,
exercise program for yourself.
yeah.
So to be honest, when I moved, I didn't think that, I was thinking, okay, maybe I'm gonna take a dance class, maybe for some activity or something. I'm not not gonna be professional from this. Like, I just admire, the dancers from the cinema, and I say, okay, I'm not looking for a career. Just take exercise for health, and
yeah,
activity. So I, so I ended up finding some local teachers,
yeah,
and many were not of Middle Eastern culture, and I was very confused by
yeah,
this. I didn't see, of course, anybody that looked like me, anybody that looked like you. Maybe they look like you, but have like American look.
yeah,
So I said, okay, well, maybe they can teach me something, and just like I said, I was just taking for exercise, but I could not at the time find anybody of the culture
be
at the
able to
time.
teach. Yeah,
So I just I cannot lie about this because I felt like that's weird. She have Arabic name, and but maybe she have Muslim husband, maybe she have Arabic husband. But I was often confused by why a white woman would want her name Amira, or like
Fatima.
yeah. I was just like, very confused. And so I was like, okay, I just kept going with it. And so as my progression kept going, I said, something's missing. I said something in this element is missing because growing up in dances, folk dances, and growing up seeing different type of dances that I saw, I said, this something is missing. There was some element I could not figure in my mind, like something I need more.
Yeah,
And I would ask my teacher more, and she could not give me more. And
yeah,
so I was trying to seek out many teachers and take as many classes,
yeah,
many workshop as I could. And just growing up, like I said, I always loved dance, but I always knew that there was like some type of element missing in my training.
yeah,
So moving forward in my training, like I said, I just wanted to take for activity and for sport. And for me, I have, was always a very active child growing up. I did, like I said, my father was a boxer, and so we, did lots of, wrestling and grappling and like MMA style, uh, sport. And so, I would go to, boxing gym, do boxing with the ladies boxing, and, come home and then do dancing the next day. And so I was just never thought in a million years, like, something like this would lead me into the dancing.
the dancing. Yeah,
Yeah, so moving forward from that, I said, okay, I want to explore more because I feel something is missing. Because we know our dances when we see our dances, and we know when we're dancing, like when something element is off. So I studied for more, and I still could not be able to find teachers of the culture. So I put it back into my mind, and I said, okay, I just want to just take for exercise. So as time kept going, I had a very prominent teacher here in the community. I hope she doesn't mind, Eva Shernik. She is a Romani Turkish dancer here, very world known, very famous. She lived here in Denver. I
wonderful.
Yes, I started taking classes from her,
Yeah,
and for a long time, I didn't say anything about where I was from. My background in dance, like how I know Khaliji dancing and any of that. And so Eva did Khaliji,
yeah,
her interpretation of Khaliji, and I said, okay, interesting. I've never seen like this way, but okay, and first and foremost, I just want to say I am no police. I never shake my finger and say,
no,
oh,
yeah.
halas, this wallah, this is terrible. Oh my God. No, I am no
Yeah,
Khaliji
but
police.
you're not police, but you are the source. That's your culture. You were brought up in it. You saw it.
Yes,
You know,
thank you.
you didn't see it through stories and feel. You lived it. So that is a different. Yeah, it's not police, but there's a
Yes,
source there, which is different. So yeah,
totally. Yes, totally. So I watched her do this on a video, and I was like, oh my God, from where you learned. And she learned from American teacher that learned from American teacher. And I said, okay, that's wonderful. So she found out that I
yeah,
know how to do this dance. And she asked me, here in Denver, we have something called People's Day or People's Fair. And so many tables and vendors will come to make food, and they're going to have dances on the stage, and they have live music playing. And
Right.
so Eva decided that she wants to do a big belly dance show. And I'm like, oh, wow. And so she asked me, she goes, Khadija, would you be willing to do a Khaliji
Easy.
dancing with me? And I said, me? You want me to do with you? And she goes, yes, why not? And I said, oh my God. I said, nobody, they want to see. No, 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 nobody. They want to see this. Because for me, Khaliji is very covered. And here, I'm thinking America, people, they want to see the belly dancers. They want to
Yeah.
see
Bodies.
sexy and they want to see the body. And I'm like, they're not going to want to see. They're going to be bored. They're going to see this. And maybe some of, the stuff. They're going to want to see that in
Yeah.
Tob Nashal. They're not going to want to see
Yes.
me in Tob in Nashal. So I
Yeah.
said, okay. So I said, for you, teacher, anything,
Yeah.
anything for you. So we, so we did like duet on the stage, and she allowed me to have maybe 5 minutes of time for myself for dancing
Yeah.
solo. So she was like, "Wow, I've never seen anybody do like
Doing
this."
that.
And I said, "Well, shukran, but thank you, but it's normal. It's for me where I'm from. It's normal."
Yeah.
And so then people started coming to me and they say, "Wow, I have never seen anything like that. What is this? What did you just do?" And I would have to explain to people about the dancing and then about what it means. And they were concerned from my dress. They were concerned from the music. I
Yeah.
had, people who may have been in military
Yeah.
in the Middle East, and they said, "Oh my God, I have not seen anything like this since I lived in Kuwait, or if I lived in Bahrain." And
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Wow, people were really interested.
To see
And
the real stuff.
think, Noara, Wallah, I swear, I didn't think anybody was interested in that because you didn't see any bodies. And
Yeah.
women and the men were just, people were like, wow, I've never seen anything like that. So moving forward, people, they started noticing and they started to see. And then they started asking more about the dancing and more about me. And I said, oh, you don't want to see. No, it's boring. You don't want to see this way. There's nothing to see. There's nothing sexy, just at home for me and my friends, and people just really started liking and liking and liking and say, oh, please, Khadija, can you do this? Can you do this dancing with your hair? And I said, that's not what it's all about, but okay, I'm gonna do this for you, no problem. And so it just kept adding up, and then next thing you know, people, they asking about me, and I'm like, oh my God, what,
Yeah.
really? I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. So it's like one thing led to something else, and I was like, wow, I didn't think anybody would like this because it's so simple for me. It's so simple,
Yeah.
and so that's how things just kind of led up.
Brilliant. Yeah. No, that's absolutely wonderful and fantastic. And do you know what it is, Khadija? They've seen the main source, they've seen the authenticity in you. That's why. And that's why your name, mashallah, mashallah, your name have gone very, quite high and very, very well established within Khadija now, which is absolutely, I admire you for that. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to take you out of the dance. How did the family react?
It's hard to speak about. First and foremost, I have to admit, I disguise my family name because
Yeah,
we have many problems with this. I for me, I I always say this when people they ask me the question like, why do you dance? And I say I don't dance because I want to. I dance because I have to.
yeah,
And where I'm from, women, girls my age, they don't do this. They don't become public with something like
uh,
this. I faced lots of backlash
yeah,
for not only for living in the United States in
yeah,
and with American accent, but people they judging by my look and my skin and where I come from. So I have many knives in me that I have to pull out for people. And
yeah,
so when I think about the dance, I don't necessarily think about these things that people they saying, because people they're gonna say what they want to say. But
yeah,
for me, it was I felt like there was an element missing in my dancing, because growing up, I see people black like me dancing. I
yeah,
see, the parties, and I see the women having good time in their home or the weddings. And when I moved to United States, it was very lonely from that. I didn't have that same feeling
yeah,
anymore. And so then, and especially as I grew into my dancing, I said, well, I want to know more about my dancing and where it comes from.
yeah,
I want to know more about the Khalij style,
yeah,
because I know growing up everywhere, city to city,
yeah,
region to region, has their own style. And I said, okay, so I know people in the north, they dance different from us in the west.
yeah,
So I there's something more. And so as I started to get to learn more about my family lineage, my family lineage is from Kenya.
yeah.
So
Oh,
yes, we are Kenyan, and then I got to know their correlation between Kenyan culture and Khaliji culture, and I said,
connection.
whoa, there's something here. And I'm listening to old traditional music, and I
Yeah,
said, this music is Swahili. This music is informal. This is not Arabic music. This is not Gulf language.
yeah,
So I said, okay, there's something else to this. I said, I need to find more of the foundations into this dancing. And
yeah,
I just wanted to know more. And not only, I would say, this style from Khaliji dance, but just in all roots of Minath dancing
yeah,
in general. So I'm like, there has to be another element under this to support this style of dance.
yeah,
So for me, as time moved on, it was like, definitely I have to know where the African people come into this dancing, because growing
absolutely.
up, I see people look like me. I hear musicians, they singing good, and I see them, and they look like me. And I'm like, but I get here to the United States and I don't see. And I'm like, where is the black people? Where is the African people? I see
Yeah,
this. Where did it go? So, and this is something that pushed me more to
yeah,
learn more. Where are these foundations, and why there's no documentation, where there's no literature
yeah,
about
yeah.
the foundation. And so this is what pushed me to do more.
Absolutely wonderful and fantastic. And yes, I agree with you. And that's happened to me as well. Just trying to search more into the style you're representing and read more, and you'd be surprised. History is vast and what you get. And obviously, I mean, for us North African, the Khaliji is a Raqs Badawi, is Arbedo. Arbedo, the
Mhm.
Khalij, Arbedo. That's how we, but obviously the Khaliji, the way it's been classed in Europe, it's not the same how we North African look at it, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So anyway, so now coming in as Khadijah and wanting to be a dancer and, rebelling against the family and trying to get away from the family and building a name, how did you build Khadijah as a dancer within the dance community? How did you put that name through? How did you make Khadijah exist? Because that is not an easy thing, is it? It's not an easy for any African or any Arab or any, for an easy one for anybody to be, to do. So share with us that experience, Khadijah.
Sure. And just to backtrack a little bit, I kind of get off topic a little bit, but like I said, many of my family, they still don't know, like they still don't know what I'm doing. My mother passed away about 2.5 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Allah yarhamha, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sure
My
she's proud of you and she'll be proud of
Yes,
you, I'm sure.
yes. She used to be a ballerina.
Ah,
So
mashallah.
yeah, she was light skinned, so she could be able to get away with some things. She was a ballerina, and she always told me, "You can do anything you want." And for her to be very progressive like that, she was very she was very progressive in a sense, like, whatever brings you joy and peace of mind, do that. Don't stop doing it. If you can't live one day without doing it, do it. And I'm like, wow, but I don't want to bring shame. I don't want to be, rebellious, or I don't want to be looked down upon, trying to bring education, because that was
yeah,
my first thing with this, because I wanted to be the dancer that I was looking for when I was dancing, because I didn't find any native teachers. I just saw white women with Arabic names, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know where to find anybody. And so I just kept learning and learning and learning, and trying to pull information as much as I can.
yeah,
So when I discovered that there was these elements that was missing in my dancing, because I come to the United States and I'm thinking, wow, like all this opportunity, there was nothing. No, it was very limited information I can find here. So it's either I had to talk to people back home, or I had to go back and travel, and all of these things. What made me in this dance? Wow, to be honest, Wallah Nawara, I had no idea this was going to be this big.
yeah,
Again, I take this dancing for exercise and for activity and for sport. I didn't think anybody would be interested in learning anything from me. I didn't think anybody was interested in the Khalij. Like, the Khalij has always have been a mystery to many people around the world, because people, for lack of better words, they consider us to be a secret place that we don't.
yeah,
Many
true.
things don't become revealed about our life and lifestyle. Even though many Khaliji people are very welcome, we will invite you in for a cup of chai anytime,
Of course, of
anytime.
course.
And I just couldn't understand why people thought we were so mysterious, and oh. So and so moving forward, I just kept dancing, and I just kept my studies, and I just kept learning, mostly. I would say maybe after 5 or 6 years in my dance training, I really started learning more about the folkloric style of dances. Not necessarily like the Khaliji styles, even though there are many styles, and we
Of
will
course.
probably speak later about these styles.
Yeah,
But I just was like, I want to learn more folklore as much as I can, because I want to learn about the real people of the area. I want to learn how they live through their dancing, because I
absolutely.
feel through the context of the dancing, this is how you get to know the people. You get to know the people from the music, the way they move, the way they're dressing while they move. And I said, I want to know everything about, maybe the Amazigh, or I want to get to know everything about the Berber, or I want to get to
Yeah,
know everything about, the Roman people. Like, I just want to know more folklore.
yeah,
And so as I start studying and start, maybe make a little post here in Facebook. That's my only social media. And people were like, wow, I've never heard of that. From where you learned this? And I'm like, wow, you want to learn more about that from me? Okay, I'm gonna teach you what I know and go from there. But I tell you, Laura, this role was not easy, because many people have doubts, and that's okay. But I just study every day. I study from everybody. People, they say, "Well, you're the master," and I say, "Me? I I don't consider myself a master of anything,
yeah,
because I feel there's still so much to learn, and I feel I can learn something from everybody.
yeah,
But I appreciate this type of sentiment. But I feel, for me, I want to keep learning. So I study, 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 and I ask many questions from the teachers and the resources that I was able to have, in my dance training. And so I just kept connecting with people, asking questions, and just being nice and being friendly. And next thing you know, people are like, I want you to dance in my show. Okay, no problem. problem. What would you like for me to dance? Okay, I can put the belly dance costume and I can do, something Egyptian. No, 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 no. We want you to do Khaliji.
I,
Okay. Said, okay, I can do for you. That's no problem. And then people were like, wow, that's amazing. And I'm like, next to a 6 foot blonde, blue eye lady with no clothes on, and they coming to me telling me, wow, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And I
yeah,
say, no way. Like I didn't believe for a long time that like, wow, you really interested in this in the Khaliji way? Like nobody, they're not interested unless they're from there or around the Khalij world or Arabic world. Like nobody, they're not interested. So I just kept asking, and it's nothing wrong, and I tell dancers, it's nothing wrong with asking to be in a showcase. It's nothing wrong with being in a show.
yeah,
And I would ask and say, do I have your permission to be in a show? People say yes. Some people, they say no. And I
yeah.
said, okay, no problem. So I just kept working and working hard every day.
Brilliant. And you certainly proved yourself and you certainly made a name. So we are proud of you. Absolutely proud of you. Now, you mentioned the word folkloric, and I'll tell you what seemed to be happening, especially on the dance market these days. I particularly find it when it comes to our Moroccan dance that people think it's folkloric fun. Like we have no studies, we have no history. Do you find the same doing the Khadijah? I mean, obviously there are various styles in Saudi Arabia. I mean, obviously you know that, but only the hair tossing that is known. So, like you mentioned, there's so many styles in Saudi Arabia, but when it comes into Khadijah, all they would want is the hair. To me, it's like they just for them the Sharqi or the Oriental or the Egyptian or Turkish style. We just come as like folkloric fun, just to top up. We don't come as like we have got history. We've got a really strong thing, that really makes our dance a dance. Do you find the same, Khadija?
Wow. Wow. Nora, if I had like money for every time somebody want to book a workshop with me and say, I want to learn the hair dance. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Shakhat, Moroccan Shakhat has hair. Dar has hair. Basrawi from Iraq has hair. Like,
Yeah,
what do you want to learn hair? And so, and it's interesting. I remember in 2000, I want to say 2009, I was asked to teach and perform at the Las Vegas Belly Dance Intensive before the festival collapsed.
yeah,
But I taught a group of, most of them were American women, and they come into the class. They thought they were going to learn hair the whole time. And so every single dancer from me, I always tell them hair dance is only a specific style. We
fine,
call
yeah,
it shahle. Shahle. There's only one specific style. Not every style in the golf has for hair.
yeah, of course,
Not some, you don't use hair at all. And
yeah,
so, and what I tell dancers when they're dancing to like music, or music that's played in 2/4, 4/4, or 6/8 for Khalij rhythm, which is most common is adani. So when they dancing, first thing they do, first thing they do is this. And I say,
yeah,
no, 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 Habibti, that is only 20%, maybe 30 at most of your dancing. What about your
yeah,
shoulders? What about your hands? What about your upper body, your shoulders? What about this?
yeah,
What about your movement in your feet? They forget this. They
of
go
course,
and stick for their hair the whole time, and it's like, wow, it does not match the music specifically, because we have a certain points in the music that it reflects, and not every dance in the Khalij is hair related, because we have
yes,
many types of folklore within our folklore also.
absolutely. Absolutely, and I also find it as well when they do come to learn these folkloric, they're always looking for a wow factor. It has to have the wow factor for it to draw their attention. Otherwise, it's like, well, it's only a folkloric fun. It's only about, like you said, about shikhat. Shikhat is not about hair. The hair thing or the hair usage comes on the very last. big. I mean, and you mentioned Khadija, the hair sway is there, but it's not a main. It's not a main. There are moves. There's the feel. There's the steps. There's the hands. It really is, and it's sad in a way. But yeah, yeah,
because
it's so true. Is
there's
that
because there's
so?
so many, yeah, there's so many elements to it, and you can do hair all day, but if your groove is missing with it, your mannerisms are missing
Yeah.
with it, it means nothing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right, Khadija. Now we have got the right person to talk to us about the Saudian style. How many styles in Saudi Arabia? How many dance styles in Saudi Arabia? Come on, tell us.
Wow, there's so many. There's Hobeiti, there's Rayabisha, there's Saut, there's Lewa, there's, oh my God, Shehla, there's, oh my God, there's hundreds of styles. Not only with those are just a few of the names, like to talk about the style of the dance. I mean, there's like depending on I hate saying tribe because the
Yeah,
American belly dancers have ruined this word for me, but many ethnic groups that are in the kingdom, this is identification for people in the kingdom. So when they are dancing, this is identification. So many of their dances, depending where they come from, is reflecting that style. So this is why we can tell anywhere in the kingdom we know this how they're dancing, we know where they're from by how they're dancing. But there, Nawara, there are hundreds of styles and hundreds of rhythms out there that, wow, I could make a class for 5 years to
yeah,
talk about the different styles in influx also from other communities like like the Roman community from like India and so on and so forth. There's like so many influx in cross cultural exchanges as well in Saudi
absolutely.
dancing as well. So there's so many. Some where like people have never seen before. Like all they see is just the hair in the shell.
Yeah.
That is
That
just one
one thing,
element.
one tiny
One
thing.
element. Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, how awesome! How awesome. Right. How do you see Western dancers perceive our culture?
There's lots of. I'm going to take a deep breath as I say this. Wow. I've heard some very bizarre things. Things that just does not make sense at all. I feel Western culture is have fantasy, many fantasy of what they think Arabic people are or what they think Arabic culture is. I'm living proof of this, Nawara, because I'm gonna tell you something. Because me, I am black.
Yeah,
When people they met me and they were like, "Oh, you from Saudi Arabia?" Yes.
yeah,
But you're black.
yeah, yeah,
So? So what? There's black people everywhere globally. But where I'm from, there's many black people. I've never been asked this question. And so people they first thing they see is this and they
singular.
thought, yeah, and so they see my skin and they're just like, no, there's no black people because they're used to light skin, very straight hair, light eyes, Saudi people, and I'm
Yeah,
like, no, 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 Saudi, we're very dark people. Many of us are black, and many
yeah,
dancers were floored by this. Many dancers were like, "No way!" Like they could not believe
yeah,
that black people, is for me, my experience specifically from the Gulf,
yeah,
because they're used to seeing very handsome, very
yeah,
well trimmed beard Gulf
yeah,
men when
yeah,
dressed very nicely, and they're used to see the women in the cab, and they're
yeah,
used to this fantasy of what they think, especially a Saudi person should look like, let
yeah,
alone fantasies and the dancing. And that's part when we were speaking earlier, early in the interview, when I was very confused at many white women taking Arabic names at first, and I
yeah,
was like, very confused because, and then in class they would teach this fantasy, and I'm like, wait a minute. I was never that student to say, I didn't learn that. That's not right. No, 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 halas. I don't do that. But I knew something here and here was off. I knew something here and
Yeah,
here was not right. And so this is what led me to keep digging and digging and digging and getting more information. But many dancers here, they teaching fantasy and they
yeah,
teaching incorrect information that has nothing to do from the culture. I hear crazy things about Khaliji all the time, like, oh, this all pearl diving music. Well, no, it's not all pearl diving music. We have pearl diving music has its own style, its own way. It has a total separate name. Not everything, not every place in the Gulf is you're diving for pearls, or you're a fisherman or you're a fisherwoman.
of
Not every place is like this. We have
course.
mountains, we have mountain dances, we have different places in our cities where it's very specific to a particular dance or particular rhythm. But when I was taking classes, and many teachers would teach this fantasy, especially of belly dancing, and I had one teacher to say, this dance comes from riding camels. And I said, oh my God, first, anybody that know me really
Sorry
personally,
about it.
I promise you,
Oh
no.
my God.
Yes, yes. I actually had a dance teacher tell me this, and I said, I didn't want to embarrass her. This is when I was baby dancing time, and I said, in the world are we talking about? I never heard it that way. And I said, anybody that know me and camel know, especially the men camel, they do not like spit on me and they kick me. So I don't like the camel anyway because they don't like me, and that's okay. But I love them because they're the animals and it's all a creation. So I love them. But I heard a dancer say this one time, and that. And for another example, I hear many misconceptions that, oh, all of the ladies, they wear all of the jewelry and they hold down like this so the jewelry doesn't move. They can do their hair like that. Yeah, and I heard this and I said, wow,
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing, but I really can't.
I know it's very funny. And I said to myself, this is when I said to myself, Nora, I said, I know I have a lot of work to do. I have a
Yeah,
lot of work to do about the misconceptions because this is not right. This is not this information here is not correct. So I
absolutely.
knew I had more things to do because many teachers, they teaching off of fantasy instead of actually integrating with people of the culture to be able to understanding of the real culture.
Absolutely. And you know what? I was laughing. You reminded me, on the shihads. I remember years back, a lovely lady came to me, and that's what she's been told by her teacher. She says, "Oh, shihads, that means sex education. Show us that move for sex education." That's what she's been told, obviously. And she's been told that shihads were selling themselves because they needed the money. And somebody else told me that shikhat is not a dance style, it's somebody that talks in a wise. And I was just like, oh my God, where are these people getting these information? It's absolutely shocking. But you can only educate. You can't just go out there. You can only educate professionally and passing the message, seminars, do lectures, do dance, workshops. But honestly, just that's why I was laughing earlier on when you were telling me about camel. Sorry,
Oh yeah,
just
yes.
so funny, honestly.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and there's lots of publications out there that
yeah,
states that too. That will say, oh, like the Khaliji swing of the music. Well, we think it comes from camels, and there are some credible sources that mention something about camels, but not specifically the dancing is
absolutely.
coming from riding of the camel. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is wow. I know there's so many more. I can make
It's
like
Orientalism. You can't change it. That's how it is. It's Oriental. It's how they want it. Right. Okay. So, how do you rate the dance scene in the world nowadays?
Wow, the dance scene in the world right now. I'm gonna speak from two perspectives.
Yep.
First and foremost perspective that I have to speak on and address is the colorism
Yeah.
and the racism in this dancing. Is a very big deal for me because I have been directly affected, obviously, from this mentality.
Yeah.
um, we have been often excluded, and it's not. It's purposely,
Yeah.
um, and we have been told our skin or our look is unattractive. It's not typical, Arabic look. It's not, maybe white women can they can pull this off better than black skinned women. So I've been told this to my face before, and I'm like, wow, really? I am this. I am
Yeah.
this. But you're gonna tell me I'm not because I have the black skin.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and speaking, that we don't always get credit that we deserve also in this
Yeah.
dance, because many famous composers, especially speaking from the Khalij, many
Yeah.
people are now getting to know about Itab.
Yeah. I thought. Yeah.
Itab is just, yeah, Itab is just one
Yeah.
Afro Saudi singer. There are
Absolutely.
many that's out there,
Yeah.
and there are many that have produced music all over the Gulf. However,
Yeah.
when looking for shows or getting maybe having inquiry for classes, like they were looking
Yeah.
for women that look white women, and they
Yeah.
never necessarily look towards us as being a credible source or being
Yeah.
a part of the belly dance or Arabic dance genre in general. So it was very bittersweet for me. There's many times I said, خلاص, I'm gonna quit. I cannot take this anymore. Like I said to myself, I was like, why am I doing this? I question myself
Yeah.
every day. I said, why am I doing this? And then when I see, when I look at, my little niece and I see like young, children of the African diaspora, like having no idea of, the foundations of their culture and where they come
Absolutely.
from. And I'm like, I have more to do. I cannot stop. I have to keep doing this. And
Yeah.
so this is something that keeps driving me as a dancer and as an educator and activist to really keep speaking out,
Yeah.
because for too long, our history, not only in the dance community, but outside of the dance community, our lineage has been swept away.
Yeah.
Khalas, it's been gone, no more. And I say, this is not right. We have a right to be here. We have a right to speak out. We have a right
Yeah.
to be heard, because I really want to stop the stereotypes. I really want to stop the judgment based on what we look like, and get to know our mind, get to know
Of course.
our skill and how we
Look on Korean.
create
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
dances. So that's for me, speaking from that perspective, for sure. But moving to a different perspective, I see too much competition.
Yeah.
I see too much wow instead of just easy. Just
Yeah.
be easy. Just have fun. Just dance. Enjoy the music. How it make you feel.
Yeah.
How it's good for your everything. It's
Yeah.
good. And I see come to Egypt for a belly dance contest. You win. $1,000 or
Fashion side
something.
to it.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like, why all of this competition? And I see, especially speaking specifically about Raqs Sharki, I'm seeing,
Yeah.
wow, I'm seeing a lot of stuff out there that is missing. Dandash recently said this, that she feel like she cannot see the Egyptian essence into the dancing anymore. Everything is changed. Everything is so different. I really have a hard time with the competition and copycat. Everybody they want to dance like Randa. Everybody they want to dance like Sahar Samara. Everybody they want to dance like Tito. And everybody they even getting outside of Egypt. Everybody wants to dance like Didem. It's just like, why can't
Yeah.
you just dance like yourself? Why
Okay.
can't because this is what make more good inspirational dancers. Everybody wanted to dance like Camelia or
Yeah.
Aziza, and it's like, no, why can't you dance like yourself? But I really feel that eventually dancers will learn the essence that brings them back to the dance. Sometimes the wow factor, it wears off. There's only so much you can wow, because when I see a dancer, because one thing we have to understand as dancers, you may be beautiful, you may have
Yeah.
nice everything, your body may be nice, but if something is missing in your dancing, this element is missing in your dancing,
Yeah.
people, and they feel uncomfortable from your dancing. This is how, even though people, this is what I've learned, especially in
Yeah.
the West, people that don't really know anything about Arabic dance,
Yeah.
that they know how a dancer makes them feel,
Of course.
because it's the
Of course.
feeling that the dancer bring that
Yeah.
makes them either like wow or like ooh, like it makes them cringe a little bit. That that's what you get what I'm saying. So it's like it's either the people are gonna be wowed by that, or they're gonna be completely uncomfortable by the dancer and her dancing. So as dancers, we educate by movement. As dancers, we educate by what we present on the stage. And we have
Yeah.
responsibility for that, because we have a responsibility to control this feeling. And we have to make sure that we keep this good feeling up, and this wow factor, and being too sexy, and being like, I love some of the new styles that are out, but will I perform? Maybe not. But I just want to remind dancers, it's okay to just simply dance. You don't have to be
Yeah.
so crazy from being too sexy or being too many tricks. Just dance, enjoy your dance. That's
And our folklore dance, or our dance, or Arabian dance in general, like my lovely mentor, the lady Karim Naji, he hates the word belly dance. I have to mention his name here because we've just had a quite a chat for the last few days about this term. But anyhow, so I have to be very careful not using the word. But Arabian dance, it's not a wow dance. There is no wow factor to it. It's a feeling, it's sensual, it's presence. And like you said, it's an entertaining. It's about you as a person and how you come across and what you can do and what you make people feel as well. Rather than wow, it's not an Olympic, which Olympiad, not which Olympiad, yeah. It's not Olympic dance at all. It's not, but anyway, so we can only talk, can't we? We can't make them change their mind.
And it's the truth. And especially here being in the West, there's many dancers that do fusion.
Yeah,
But the problem I'm discovering is, what are you fusing?
yeah, yeah.
Confusion.
Yes.
And it's confusion because you have to be very careful from this, because especially speaking from Khaliji dance, and I know in your culture also, Nawara, you have specific dances that are ritual, because
Yes.
we
A
have
Sufis Mane, so yes, so true, yes, yeah.
Yes, we have rituals that we use in our dancing. Some of this dancing like means serious time,
Seriously, yes,
and it
yes,
could
true.
be represent religious undertone. And so when I see
Yeah,
dancers picking and choosing elements what they want from the dance and just throwing it into a song, it's like,
yeah,
whoa, you are very brave.
yeah.
Even as native, I will never do something like this.
No,
I will never do
yeah,
something like that, because we have
no,
to be careful. So any of the dancers that are listening, make sure you really know what you're doing, because many of these dances are ritualistic and
yeah.
used in rituals that are very sacred to culture, our culture for sure.
And another thing as well, if you may allow me to add it on this interview with yourself, Khadijah, is guys, whoever's listening to us, this is not a critique. We're not, we've not been, we've just speaking a culture that we were born in and brought up in, and we want it to be presented the best we can, the best we've seen it and brought up in it. And another thing as well, and advice as well, maybe it's for people to go and live and visit Egypt and to do the Egyptian dance. Go to Saudi Arabia, wonderful Riyadh, and Jeddah. Jeddah, I mean, I've never been, obviously, but my family's been because of Mecca and pilgrimage and all that. But they got praises about Jeddah, mashallah. Learn from them, mix with people, learn from people, and mix
Jeddah
with
is
Khadijahs.
Yeah,
Yeah, go on.
Jeddah is good to visit. Riyadh is extremely boring. You're not going to find anything there. You're going to be bored out of your mind. Riyadh is very boring. I'm sorry, all my Riyadh people, but it is boring. We all know this. Wallah, we all know this. But Jeddah is very welcoming. Now the kingdom has opened visiting. So
Yeah,
people can visit. It's okay to visit. I mean, people are so happy to see like
see,
people are doing dances of the culture. People are very
Khadijah.
happy to see this. People are
Yeah,
very happy to see this. But just try. My advice to dancers is to just really try.
yeah,
And for me, growing up, you know I did professionally study some Khaliji also, but teachers are from there are not well known. Many of
yeah.
these women are very old at this age now. I grew up seeing these things from wedding, women parties, baby time,
Of
baby
course.
showers, and so I got to learn this like that, but I
Yeah,
still had professional training. This
yeah,
is the difference, and I'm still seeking professional training in my
yeah,
dancing. So I know exactly what I'm
yeah.
doing. So
Of
this is the
course.
element that every dancer really must take home with them every time
Ab-
in their dancing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right, okay, so my next question is, how do you feel about folkloric dance in the West? Now, you do a maharajan or you do a festival and you put Egyptian style dance and you get sold out. Now, you do a maharajan and you put folkloric dance. Oh, how do you feel about that?
Wow, I think people's once again it's fantasy.
It's fantasy, yeah.
Yeah, people's interpretation because people think all North African dance is like Egyptian dance,
Yeah,
but Moroccan people style, Algerian people have their style, Libyan people have their,
of
Tunisian
course.
people have their, and they mix everything
Yeah,
together, and I'm like, what is this? It's very confusing. There's a lot of confusion around folklore because I heard one time and I posted about it in Facebook and it made me very angry
yeah,
because I love the folk life. I love this style, the Bedu style. I love Bedu. I am not too proud to say Bedu. I love Bedu. Okay. So where I'm from, sometimes they'll refer to it as dosari. Actually, dosari is a certain style in the kingdom as well. But many people think dosari, for lack of better words, for English speaking people in America, is something very low, very ghetto, like from the slum. Like people, they don't do this way. I love it.
yeah,
I love this way.
yeah.
But many I've heard one dancer say one time is belly dancers should never do folk style. And I say why? She said because it just shows the low of the people. I said, are you kidding me? I mean, my spicy African blood getting mad with from this woman. And I said, this is not true. I said, this is not true. Who are you to say who is low and who is high? Who are you to say who is low and who is high? Because you get to see the essence of the people. You get to learn the people from these Bedu dances, these dances that you never see. This doesn't mean that they are low. And so some people, I would say, then had this mentality, but now I think dancers' mentality, now that many racisms and bigotry and all of these other things is coming out, and
Yeah.
people, they don't want to be labeled racist, they don't want to be labeled as bigots. So people are like changing their mind about the mindset of folkloric dances and from where they come from and the people that encapsulate these dances. So
Absolutely.
people's mind frames are now changing. But I will never forget this woman. She tell me this was probably maybe 4 or 5 years ago. She said, "Oh, don't belly dancers should never do folk dances because it's low." I lose my mind. Voila, I lose my mind from this woman. I said, "Oh my God, I cannot believe she's gonna say something this way."
I know. It's shocking sometimes when you hear, when you see stuff like that. But like you said, like I said earlier, we can only talk. We can't make them change their mind, and But yeah, but no, it's good. It's good. It's good to have you. It's good to have you on platform. Honestly, this is like, oh my god. But you know what? I'm gonna add a question here. And I want you to be as open as you possibly can. We don't with anybody that's watching us. Do you feel there is a racism in the dance scene in the world? Do you think that there is a racism?
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Did you come across
I
it
have.
yourself? Have you come across it yourself? Have you faced it? Have you? Because I'm going to speak about my own thing. Yes, I have in terms of being North African Arab, and in terms of being a big girl. you know, a curvy girl, a curvy woman, basically. So, but I want to see that
You're beautiful.
Mamnuna. So, I want to know, I want to see what do you think, ya Khadija? Do you think that there is a racism in the Western dance market? We dance in the West, basically. We present in the West. So, what do you think?
There's definitely racism. I have experienced it many times. Nora, I can tell you how many times I have come home and I just cry. I see the social media and I just cry. I will openly admit that on in public. I do cry because it hurt so bad when people they don't even see your
Oh, you
ability.
are.
They don't get to see your skill. They don't get to see your talent. They're just judging you by your skin and your body. And especially us of the African diaspora
Yeah.
specifically, we really get under a microscope because our body is very different. We are not European women. We
Right.
have many curves, we have full lips, we have all of the things many women here, especially in the West, they go get the surgery for. Not that I'm saying anything bad from your surgeries,
Yeah.
but they go to look like us, but we have this aesthetic all of our life, and people they get no, I don't like this way. Why? We're natural. This is the natural way. But I have faced many trials in the dance community. I was once told by a restaurant owner here that I am too black to be dancing. I was once told by a dancer that runs a very big festival here that nobody knows who you are and nobody wants to see somebody that look like you dancing. And I said, "What do you mean,
Oh,
somebody that?"
God. Oh, God.
Mhm. I've had one dancer in particular. We used to be very good friends. She
Yeah.
mentioned that for me that I have to use being Saudi and my religion as a way of gaining attention in my dancing. And I said, "Wow, that's the last thing I want to use because I don't want to bring shame for my family. And
Yeah.
this is a very touchy subject for me, so I don't speak about that very often." So she made this comment, just many jabs coming my way, and I have been excluded from many shows. I have been many doors have been shut in my face. And
Yeah.
I said, I am really tired of this. I said, I have every right to be in this dance like everybody. So that for me was a very big eye opening when I many opportunities because nobody got to see my style and
Yeah.
my dancing
The
and they
skill.
just
Yeah.
yes, but in the dance community it is exclusive, is excluding. It is of now that people are realizing, especially after the death of like George Floyd,
Yeah.
Elijah McClain, and other African American people in this
Yeah.
country have lost their lives at the hands of racism, that people are starting to wake up, especially in the belly dance community. And it's amazing, in the Arab community, we have our own racism to work out. That is never
Yes.
overlooked.
Yeah, but
But
yeah,
specifically speaking about the West where I live, it is very excluding. It's like white women for the longest time didn't even know that we existed, let alone black and of the culture existed.
yeah.
So when my face appeared, people are like, "Oh, you're from Atlanta," and I'm like, "Even if I was, so what? I'm not. Nothing wrong with people being from Atlanta, but it's the stereotype people have of what they think of black
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
people." you know. And so they think, oh, gangster, thug, or somebody making crime and not educated. So there's many stereotypes that are still coming to the dance community, because there are many dancers out there that are like Trump supporters, and they are baking and making money from our culture, but they're
yeah,
saying, I do not like Muslims, I do not like Arabic people, I do not like people from this part of the world. But you take Arabic name, you use our
yeah.
dance,
Well,
you you know
that's what we
it,
said. Orientalism. They took whatever they want from
yes,
it, the names, and it has to be the hair, and it has to be makeup, and it has to, and
yes,
that is all true.
yes. The Orientalism is really, it's really crazy here.
Yeah.
It's very prominent in the community, and I would say now there's a lot of there are dancers out there that I have to recognize that are really actively doing the work to bring black or African identifying dancers on the
Ah,
scene more now that it's more in dialogue and in exchange. But I would say maybe 2 3 years ago, nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew who Nefertiti was.
yeah.
Nobody knew who Thelma Rose was. Nobody knew who Ahava was or Siana. You know, all of these other amazing black dancers. Like nobody knew these dancers. And so, with that being said, this last year, my
Yeah.
friends and I decided to start a belly dance group for black dancers called Asmara.
Oh,
So
mashallah.
yes, so we named it Asmara Belly Dance Initiative. And so we are giving dancers of the culture and Black skin dancers more of a profile and platform to speak, because this is why I do the work that I do, because I find the African foundations in our dances. That because what really hurt the most is there was a Russian dancer, Russian Ukrainian dancer. I would prefer not to say her name for privacy reasons. He came out making fun of the black face. He make
Oh,
a
yeah.
funny accent from her voice and making something from her hair, and she made fun of us. That hurt me really bad and many other dancers badly. And from that point, many of us wanted to quit. And I say, ladies, we cannot quit, because if we quit, we have no representation here. So we decided to come together and make more dances and make ourselves more visible to be
Yeah.
seen, because we are often forgotten about. Um, but I do think now things are changing.
Yeah.
To see more change to come. I do think dancers now are realizing that, wow, I didn't, some dancers really don't know that they have been excluding us
Yeah.
because they've only worked within their realm of dance. But almost every genre within Arabic dances, you can always find black dancers, but
Yeah.
people, they tend to overlook us.
Yeah.
But I think I do think things are changing now.
No, that's absolutely awesome, and thank you for opening your heart, and thank you for speaking out and sharing that experience with us. I admire you. I admire your lots and lots, and your honesty and your open heart. You're open to speech. You're saying it as it is, which is absolutely fantastic. Like you said, lots of
Thank you
people
so
keeping
much.
it inside, but that's really good.
You know,
Of you or to hear your experience. Right, Khadijah, what does the word master mean to you?
so master, I think this word is getting moved around a lot. I'm hearing master teacher course and master teacher this. And I say, okay, well, what are you mastering? What are you a master in? Because me, when I hear the word master, I always think about like martial arts because my Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu background, my MMA background that I work hard for also every day. And when I hear master, and we're like, okay, so what are you master of? And then I'll see like master teacher teaching Khaliji, master dancer teaching Raqs Sharki, master teacher teaching, Nuba dancing or teaching something else. And I'm like, so you master all of these things? Wow, you must have a lot of time. So I just think to myself, many dancers throw this word around a lot.
Yeah,
And I think think it's become a showing off. In my opinion, it's become a showing off because for me, I do not consider myself master of anything. I do not even Khaliji. I do not consider myself master because feel I have so much to learn. I am always forever student. I can always learn something from somebody. One thing my mother told me before she passed away, she goes, always don't ever get your head too far in the clouds that you can't see on your way down from where you come from because somebody helped you get there. But don't ever forget this. And
Yeah.
many dancers, they think they take maybe 1 year of classes, and maybe some Arabic person tell this dancer, "Oh, you're
You're
amazing
correct.
and you are master. You should be teaching."
Yeah.
So it's like, wow. So all of a sudden you are master teacher. You
Yeah.
know, it's very, this one is very dangerous
And
because
master teacher of the style of a country she's never visited or he's never visited.
mhm, this is a problem. This is a very big problem. I think this word for me is creating more division into the dance community than anything else. I
Yeah.
honestly feel it creates that division because I don't feel that word unless you have really proved yourself, like Fifi Abdo, Aida Noor,
Yeah.
Tito.
Yeah.
Wow, extensive background. But about me personally, I do not feel I am a master. When people tell me master, Khadija, I'm like, oh, that sounds funny, but thank you. Shukran. I really appreciate you honoring me in this way. But I put my pants the same way you do in the morning. I'm learning the same thing you're learning. I'm in every workshop with you. I'm learning every day. But I want dancers to be careful from this word as calling themselves the master when you're mastering everything. Maybe you're master at one thing. Take one
Yeah.
thing and maybe build on this.
Yeah.
I think this is
Absolutely.
important.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Right. Well, talk to us about the different outfits in Khaleesi. And now this is for education purposes because there's loads of things getting thrown out there, and it's like you said, causing confusion. So, what are the different outfits in Khaleesi?
Of course, many things have changed in the Khaliji Nishal, in the dresses. So of course, and I have a few that I can show. Just one
Oh,
second.
please, yes, please, yeah.
So these are some of my favorite dresses. I'm
Wow.
just going to let my light down a little bit. But for example, I have this blue one here.
That is gorgeous, Khadija. Hadi
So
Farasha.
thank you. Yes, Farasha style, exactly. Farasha butterfly style for those not Arabic speaking. So, but what we don't understand, this is a very new style. Many new styles are coming from like Moroccan culture, where they have the kaftan, the madama, and many of us wear our styles in that way. But what they don't understand is that when let me show you the traditional style of the nishal. Many people, many dancers, they think of it as looking like this.
Yes.
So they think of this style of, with the big arms. This is very old style.
Yeah.
Many cultures have this. Depends where people are from, especially like Emirates or Bahrain. They have different in Kuwait. Sometimes they have a different cut of the
Yeah.
style of this Tob Nishal here. And this is what every belly dancer see. This is what every belly dancer know. But the party style, they don't realize traditionally this is not used as a cover up. This is often used as a dress. Like if dancers, they get to know the history of this, they would respect it a little bit more. And
Oh,
you notice we do not refer to this as costume because this is dress everyday life. This is
yeah.
way of life for us. So I don't feel costume is a good word to use for that. But under this is really important that you wear layers under because this dress particularly, if you look under, you have something else.
Yeah.
So you have something else, and then the old style of this farasha style is
It's
sometimes women
gorgeous,
they.
Khadija.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna show my other ones, but
Oh, it's
yes, but with the farasha style, they old sometime traditionally they would wear long skirts, but I
yeah,
wear for me personally. This is just for me. Not every Khaliji woman may do this, but I wear like pants, tights, pants, and
yeah,
then I'll wear long dress under that it can reach the top of my foot, so you
yeah,
don't see any extra skin or anything like that.
yeah,
But many people have seen my red costume here. This also has another dress underneath as well,
yeah.
to kind of because this material is very see-through. You
It's
probably cannot see it from here, but it is very see-through.
right.
So you want to make sure that you cannot see through and make sure everything is covered under this. So this is
That's
one.
beautiful.
Thank
Absolutely
you. One of
gorgeous.
my
The
favorite
color,
style.
oh my God.
Thank you. One of my most favorite styles here. So I'm gonna
Amazing.
just hold this and put this here. And this, I love just wearing this around the house. This is just
Yeah,
a house dress.
yeah,
Just something to just wear. But this also has something under it. So it's because it's very see-through.
yeah.
So but we prefer the long sleeves. So this is like the part of the shell over the second part.
The actually overall, yeah. No, that's
Yeah. So
beautiful.
this, yeah. So this
I,
is
you see, we
yeah.
have got something similar to that in Morocco, you know.
Hmm. Yes, yes. Many styles come from Moroccan culture because a lot of the new styles, will wear the madama belt
The
under
Dumba, yeah. You know,
that,
the Pura. Yeah,
mhm.
beautiful,
Yes, yes, because I think it's the same thing in your dialect too, because we call it madama also to wear the belt under it.
yeah.
But there are so many different styles. But this style in particular here is that dancers only know this one. But we also have like the abaya, like the black abaya. We don't ever dance in public, of course, with hijab. But I
Yeah.
see many dancers doing that. That's a whole other subject, but it's okay to as long as you have long sleeve, you're presenting whatever style of Khadija in the right manner, because there are different styles, different clothing garments for different styles. So this is not for every style. This
True,
is not for every style.
true.
So mhm. So yeah, so that's just
Oh,
like a little
that's
bit of it.
amazing. I feel like jumping, getting through this digital and come to your house and just have a
Oh,
look.
oh, I would love you. I would feed you. I would give
It's
you
like, have
chai
a
every
look and
day.
see
I love
what
you. I love you.
I'll be dressing up and be dressing up.
Come to my home.
Hi,
I would love to have you here.
Khadija, who is your inspiration?
Wow, I have a few. I would say my mother was my inspiration because she
Yeah,
always told me
yeah.
that she saw something in me that other people could not see in me, and she saw things in me I couldn't even see in myself.
Oh,
She really inspired me to keep going. And this the dance, like I said before, I dance because I have to, not because I necessarily want to, because it's really got me connected to my heritage and where we come from originally. And it's really, you know um have my mother have been such a huge inspiration for me. But I would say many Afro Khaliji people have inspired me, or any I would say black skinned Arabic
yeah,
people in the entertainment world that have been condemned and have been overlooked, have really inspired the most. Um, but I would say old black and white movies have really inspired me to
yeah.
just keep pushing forward, and it just gives me this essence that I just remember. being nostalgic,
Yeah,
seeing
of
it.
course. Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I would say my biggest inspiration was my mother.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. What do you think about fusion? I mean, fusion these days have become very popular. What do you think about fusion? Do you think that the dance or the future dance is just fusion?
For me, as I mentioned before, it's more like confusion. Because I think people have to be careful what they pick and choose from dances
Yeah.
and putting it together because it's, as we mentioned before, some of these dances can be very ritualistic. But I feel fusion is hurting us
Yeah.
because many of these dancers that are teaching fusion are not reaching out to the communities that these directly affect. And they're not reaching out to gain firsthand knowledge from people that live this life, have come from this life, or currently living in this life, you know, um, from that source of where they're borrowing from. So, and I've seen many ways of fusion dancers that are like, well, I'm going to do a flamenco, Moroccan fusion. It's like, okay, you do like this a couple times and all of a sudden it's flamenco. No,
Yeah.
no, flamenco has a very deep rooted culture and very deep rooted way of life. Like you have to be careful because most flamenco teachers I know, or the Roman people from the area, they're very strict, And so I just feel like dancers often pick and choose from fusion, and I think this is dangerous. For me, this
Very.
is extremely dangerous, and
Very.
I'm starting to see this in the Khaliji world
Yeah.
because they're often mixing. Like, they're doing like a Khaliji Iraqi fusion. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Iraq has a Khaliji version. I mean, I love Isala Ibrahim. She does a great
Yeah.
Basrawi.
Yeah.
She's amazing. But dancers are like, will just throw anything out there. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You have to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the fusion teachers really need to reach out to more of the Minat community instead of just thinking to just do things like that.
True. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Right, Khadijah, how do you feel when you are on stage?
Wow. To be honest with you, Nora, I am scared all the time. Like I am always scared.
I just
I am.
cannot see the scary feeling in you at
Oh
all.
my gosh,
I
I
just
get
can see a wild Khadijah coming out.
Well, I get so Nora, I get so scared. I get very scared. But when something about when I get on stage, if people don't have to perform with me, I have like a little ritual that I do backstage. Of course, I make my dua,
Yeah.
and I always do that before I get on stage. And
Yeah.
I am always having a feeling, oh my God, I'm so scared. Like who's gonna be watching me? So scared. But the minute I hear the music,
You
everything goes.
Yeah.
I the feeling I get on stage, I cannot describe. I literally feel like my ancestors dancing around me at the same time. I literally feel free. I feel like I don't care who's judging me. I don't care who's making bad look at me. I don't care what, I feel like immersed in my music, in my dancing. I think about something from back home. I think about a good feeling. I think about the sounds, the smells, the feelings I used to feel growing up. And that really overtakes me when I'm on the stage for sure. I think about those things often.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Fantastic. So, do you think you have achieved what you wanted first time when you started dancing?
No, to be honest with you, like I said, I wanted to be, I don't know what I was thinking, but I know like it's looked where I'm from, it's looked down upon, but I really wanted to be a Raqs Sharki dancer. I was like, I want to be like the Raqs Sharki girls in my costume, looking sexy for everybody. And I said, I want to look this way. Boy, was I took a completely different detour into my dancing, and everything ended up being completely different. I didn't have a single thought that I would ever be known for Khaleesi. I didn't think, and I said, well, maybe I should try again. Maybe I should try to be that Raqs Sharki dancer, that Egyptian style dancer. Maybe I should just keep going with that. And people are like, no, we want to see you do something folk. I'm like, okay, fine. But I do feel, alhamdulillah, I feel very blessed that I get to do this because where I'm from, and we cannot do this where I'm from. I feel I have freedom here to be able to make my culture more visible. I feel I'm able to just bridge this gap of disconnect from the Western to the Gulf, especially. Um, there's still many more things I would like to do in my career. I'm really reaching the academic part of my career where I want to write about my experiences from traveling and my studies and who I've studied with and just things that I know from back home. I would love to write more about that. So that is like my next step up, but I feel that I have more work to do, but Alhamdulillah, I am happy and thank God I am where I am right now.
Alhamdulillah,
Alhamdulillah.
I'm sure there's hell a long future in front of you, and I'm sure your name is just gonna get risen and
Alhamdulillah.
risen and risen and risen and just go to top. And we are proud of you. We're supporting you. I'm coming to my last question here, Khadijah, which is a very important question because that's the whole idea about these Raqs Chitty Chat is to get the artists to talk about their experience, their background, their knowledge, their dance and everything. And we always ask, what advice can you give to the dancers, Khadijah?
Thank you for this question. I love this. I love this dance so much. And what advice I can give my dancers? I say be yourself. Completely be yourself. And people,
Absolutely.
and I always say, people, how for me, how you want to get to know me, you get to know me dancing. You get to know me in my dancing because I feel my personality comes out, everything comes out. But my advice would be to not get yourself involved in these chats rooms and arguments and social media. If somebody they say something bad about you, let them say what they want to say. Let them that people are gonna say something anyway. I feel dancers should really focus in the moment of the dancing, really
Yeah,
focus on how the dancing is making them feel, because if they feel good in their dancing, they're gonna make other people feel good. And right
absolutely.
now in this world we live, we need this good feeling right
Yeah,
now. And my advice, especially for my black dancer, especially, is don't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up, because we also have a seat at this table as well. Like, because somebody they make something about your skin, this is the way Allah made all of us.
yeah,
This is the way we came to be. This is beautiful. This represents a lot more than just,
yeah.
struggle. This is joy. This is pain. This is everything we have got to give in our life and our dance. And the more we show of this in our presence, the more we can be able to get more recognition in our dances, because this is our dance. Many people don't admit that, but yes, this is our dancing. And just do not give up. Whatever you do, don't give up. Keep going. Keep going for the fight. It's tough. People, they're gonna say things. They're gonna be racist. They're gonna make you feel bad. But remember why you started this dance. I
Exactly.
always have to take my own advice and remember why I started this dance,
Exactly.
because I feel I have to connect my heritage with this. I have to connect where my ancestors came from. I have to
Yeah,
make this connection, and I have to tell the world about this foundation of the dance that's been completely lost in our dance literature. So I feel that this is something that is very important for me, but always resort back to what started me dancing for number one. wise.
Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely, what advice? Brilliant, brilliant to finish off this session. Before I go, hang on, guys. We do have Dr. Valerina Fatiti the next 2 days on Sunday, so be with us on the live when the Raqs Chitty Chat. She has got a lot to offer, so please, please do tune in. Come in either to my page or Dr. Valerie's page, and you'll be able to watch the Raqs Chitty Chat. Khadijah, I feel as if though I've grown up with you and I've known you in my childhood. This Raqs Chitty Chat is supposed to be within the hour. I
I'm
think
so
we
sorry.
exceeded 1 hour and a half.
Oh my
There's
gosh, I'm so sorry.
listen, an absolute treasure and a pleasure and an honor to be sitting down here talking to you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your advice. Thank you for making us love Khadijah more, know a lot more about Khadijah. Keep going, keep sharing, keep telling us a lot about it. And yes, we Arab women, let's get together and let's clarify some sort of confusions out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is something we were born in, we were brought up in. We didn't hear stories. We didn't just read books. We saw these. We brought up on stuff like that. So if you guys like to learn this culture, especially the Khaliji, this is the lady for you. Thank
I
you very
will.
much for your time.
Yes, no problem. I just want to mention, Zahra, tomorrow, we having an Egyptian live show
Yes.
tomorrow. So if you find me on Facebook, I can send you the information. But join me. I'm gonna make something special for you. I'm gonna do two dances. I have something special for you tomorrow. Please join me.
Brilliant. What an awesome things. There you go, guys. So with Zara Abdulrahman or the Zara Sukif having an online, and she's wonderful in directing these online events. Absolutely wonderful. So get there to watch Khadijah. Khadijah, Allah ma'ak. Shukran, shukran, shukran,
Inshallah.
shukran, shukran. Sa'a
Inshallah.
sa'ida. Thank you, everybody. Thank
Inshallah.
you very
Ma
much indeed.
salama.
Bye. Ma salama. Bye.
Ma salama.